A major shift unfolded at the southern border today. Federal officials announced the temporary closure of a remote crossing in Arizona after a discovery that stunned both authorities and residents alike. The port of entry at Lukeville has been sealed, not due to routine enforcement, but because of what was unearthed beneath the desert floor. What investigators uncovered wasn't a simple smuggling tunnel hastily carved in the dirt. It was something far more extensive, intricate, and troubling. Hidden beneath miles of barren terrain lay a sprawling underground system, its scale and sophistication defying previous assumptions about border security. The discovery forced officials into immediate action. Entire stretches of the border were shut down, roads barricaded, and surveillance drones deployed. Heavy machinery was rushed to the site to secure entry points and prevent further access. Authorities described the find not as a regional problem, but as a potential national security threat. The tunnels were capable of concealing movements, bypassing checkpoints, and providing pathways for goods. People lore possibly much darker uses that officials declined to discuss. What shocked investigators most was the design. Reinforced walls, air circulation systems, hidden chambers, and electric wiring suggested long-term planning and professional expertise. This wasn't the work of opportunistic actors. It pointed to resources, funding, and coordination well beyond small-scale operations. The implication spread quickly. For years, Arizona's rugged borderlands have been a focal point of political debate, with visible barriers and patrols symbolizing security, but this discovery revealed an invisible dimension of riskan, underground highway operating silently beneath the feet of agents above. Residents in nearby towns found themselves grappling with unease. For decades, they had grown accustomed to helicopters sweeping the skies and patrol trucks cutting across dusty roads. Now they were told that hidden corridors stretched beneath their communities, altering the way they saw the land itself. For law enforcement, the shutdown was less about sealing one breach and more about buying time. Engineers, structural experts, and specialists in underground construction were called in to map the full extent of the network. Ground-penetrating radar and drilling equipment became as essential as patrol vehicles and surveillance towers. The political ripples were immediate. For years, billions had been invested in above-ground fortifications walls, fences, and sensors. But this discovery exposed a blind spot. What happens when the threat doesn't come over or around the border, but beneath it? Critics demanded a shift in strategy, calling for intelligence and technological solutions, rather than relying solely on visible barriers. At the same time, humanitarian concerns emerged. Evidence inside the tunnel's discarded belongings, cramped passages. Suffocating heat spoke to the desperation of those who risked the subterranean route. The contrast between advanced engineering and human suffering underscored the complexity of the border's hidden realities. Economically, the closure hit hard. Border towns dependent on daily cross-border trade felt the impact immediately. Trucks sat idle. Businesses lost customers, and communities built on cross-border ties faced sudden disconnection. Beyond economics, the psychological impact was profound. The thought of elaborate corridors stretching beneath American soil unsettled citizens far beyond Arizona. It raised unsettling questions. How long had this network been in place? How many others remained hidden? What had already moved through before discovery? The secrecy surrounding the investigation fueled speculation. Officials declined to reveal certain details, regarded statements hinting at implications the public wasn't being told. This silence magnified unease, transforming the discovery from a local incident into a national symbol of unseen vulnerability. International observers took notice. Images leaked from the site revealed chambers resembling reinforced bunkers, smooth walls suggesting heavy machinery, and branching corridors extending far beyond expectation. Some compared the system to Cold War installations, a reminder that modern conflict is not only fought in the skies and on the surface, but deep within the earth itself. The shutdown also sparked deeper reflection. For centuries, deserts have been viewed as natural barriers. To discover a hidden geography beneath one carved by human hands reshaped how the border itself is imagined. Boundaries are no longer just horizontal lines on a map. They extend vertically into unseen layers below. The Arizona discovery will be remembered not just as a disruption, but as a turning point. It revealed that while eyes were fixed on fences and patrols above ground, an entirely different world had been unfolding beneath. What lies underground has forced a nation to confront its blind spots, to rethink security, and to recognize that vulnerability doesn't always come from what is visible. Sometimes, the most dangerous threats are the ones hidden in the dark, waiting to be unearthed. In the days following the shutdown, the desert no longer felt silent. What was once an expanse of rock, sand, and wind now pulsed with the presence of federal teams, surveillance aircraft, and whispers of something larger than the public was being told. The investigation intensified. Specialists descended into the tunnels wearing protective gear, documenting each chamber, each branching path, each sign of deliberate design. What they found only deepened the mystery. Some corridors ended abruptly, as if construction had been abandoned mid-plan. Others led to concealed storage areas, their walls reinforced with steel beams meant to endure. In certain chambers, investigators discovered crude benches, empty water containers, and scraps of clothing, evidence that people had once paused here, waiting, hiding, or moving through in silence. But other details suggested something more. Wiring embedded in the walls hinted at systems far beyond improvised smuggling. Traces of machinery marks suggested the use of heavy equipment, not hand tools. The tunnels did not feel temporary. They felt permanent, as though designed to last, perhaps even to expand. For local communities, the discovery became a daily weight. Ranchers began to wonder if their cattle pastures hid unseen passages below. Families who had lived for generations near the border suddenly questioned the ground beneath their homes. The desert, once familiar, had been transformed into a place of unease. Rumors spread faster than official updates. Some said the tunnels connected to distant states. Others whispered that they might stretch beneath military installations or lead to sites never meant for the public eye. In the absence of clarity, imagination filled the silence.